Hey there folks, and welcome back to System Talk. We're going to take a look at the Killian system today, which was kindly suggested by Arnold Fender. Also, before we get started, at the end of the episode there will be a short trailer for an upcoming Star Citizen series I'm planning on doing. Alright, enough talk, on to the Killian system. The Killian system is a large system with a standard star at its center, and with 14 planets orbiting around it. It is at the center of the UEE, and is located here, both one jump away from the Ellis and Terra systems, two systems we've already covered. Early in its colonization, military bases and outposts started popping up in the Killian system. While there were no specific plans to build out the system to be a military base, it naturally evolved from a forward base in the early days of exploration and colonization to the most important headquarters in the galaxy for UEE forces. Both the UEE Navy and the UEE Marine Corps call the Killian system home, launching and organizing from city-sized military complexes, training facilities, and dockyards on the planets of the Killian system. In order to support this large militaristic endeavor, many civilians now live in the system as well. As a result of the large military presence on the Killian system, it is largely regarded as the safest system in the universe. The first three planets in the Killian system are regarded as the Three Sisters. The Three Sisters are all small, similar, uninhabitable, rocky bodies that orbit very closely to their parent star. There are limited mining resources on these planets, however, on Killian 3 some metals are mined. Mostly, however, these planets are used as weapons and ordnance testing for the latest and greatest UEE military weapons. As a result, the surface of these worlds are scarred and cratered. Killian 4 is commonly referred to as Magma. As the name chosen by a particularly unimaginative and apparently uneducated explorer suggests, the surface is largely covered by lava, molten metals, and superheated rock. No land on Magma is completely stable, therefore the mining operations that dot the surface of this world hover and move from site to site to extract and refine the plentiful sources of metals and minerals on the surface of this boiling world. Killian 5 is known as MacArthur. It is home to the UEE Navy and is also the birthplace of the mighty Bengal-class strike carrier. MacArthur is also home to the largest UEE naval base in the galaxy. Tens of thousands of UEE pilots train here each year. Also, MacArthur is orbited by thousands of stations, dry dock facilities, and moorings. The largest ships in the known universe, including the Bengal carriers, are constructed in these dry dock facilities orbiting around MacArthur. And, as a result, merchants and traders can make a lot of money here by delivering processed ores, ship electronics, weapon components, shield generators, and all the other components needed to construct a massive armada. Also, back planetside, the various lonely pilots, stressed-out workers, and crewmen have a taste for illegal black market goods. However, due to the massive amount of UEE forces and police, it is incredibly dangerous to deal with the black market on this planet. Killian 6, or Osha, as it is more commonly known, is a small terraformed world that is home to the many families and support personnel for the military population in Killian. It is a highly developed world that is covered with large arcologies. Much of the population on Osha consumes large amounts of disposable and luxury goods. This makes it a favorite stop for merchants that roam this system. Killian 7 is known as Keen. Keen is another terraformed rocky civilian world that is slightly larger than Osha. Keen is home to the many private corporations that hold military contracts in this system. Having a world dedicated to manufacturing in the Killian system dramatically reduces the cost of building ships here. As a result, everything from shower doors, rations, to engine manifolds and ship bulkheads are produced on this planet. Also, Robert Space Industries and Anvil Aerospace have showrooms on this planet, making it an ideal place for you to buy your new ship here. Killian 8 is an unnamed ocean world in the Killian system. Despite looking like an ocean paradise from above, it is actually a poisonous mix of water, ammonia, and other toxic and volatile chemicals. Even the most hardy spacesuit won't protect you from the toxic ocean slurry. Also, don't try landing here either, as the surface of the planet can dissolve even the toughest armor. Killian 9 is known as Corbin. Corbin is an icy world that is home to the UEE Marine Corps. Its surface is covered in icy tundra, caves, and crags. The Marine Corps main base is located in an underground complex. However, often for training, Marines are forced to go to the surface to try to survive the inhospitable climate. Corrin is also often regarded as one of the most highly protected planets in the galaxy, as it is always orbited by at least one Marine carrier at all times. It is suggested, under all circumstances, do not approach Corrin. The last 4 planets are designated the outer planets, all of which are uninhabitable. Killian 10 has a thin atmosphere and a mineral-rich surface. Because of an ongoing court battle regarding metal mining rights here, there is a large group of people jumping to the planet to lay claims on the surface for potential future mines. Killian 11 is a gas giant that is used mostly for shipping fuel resupply. There are large automated collectors that orbit this planet. Much of the fuel for the UEE Navy ships comes from the production around this planet. Killian 12 and 14 are essentially worthless, uninhabitable rocky worlds, with little to no economic value. Killian 13 has little value either. However, it's called the Haunted Planet because of the surface that is covered in a beautiful and foreboding smoky quartz. Now onto the analysis. In general, the supply and demand economic model here may vary. Because it is one of the safest systems, we can assume the supply of merchants here will be very large. However, the demand for goods to be traded in this system will be very high as well, because of the large quantity of goods and raw materials produced in this system. Killian 1 and 2 will have very little economic resources. However, Killian 3 does mine and refine ores. We can assume that most of the material mined here will be delivered to Keen, as it is a manufacturing planet that is only a short distance away, relatively speaking. You may also be able to make a profit here from exporting the raw materials out of system, depending if the demand is higher elsewhere. Magma, as we know, has large floating platforms that mine and refine large quantities of resources. The people doing this mining will almost certainly require food, luxury goods, and essential resources to be imported. This should net a decent profit. However, because of the safe nature of this system, and large density of traders that will be present in this system, don't expect to make as much trading here as you would elsewhere on the fringe systems. Also, like Killian 3, Magma would most likely export most of its refined materials to Keen. This should be able to make at least a small profit. MacArthur itself doesn't produce much at all. However, the demand for products here is incredibly high. The luxury and entertainment goods demanded by the forces stationed here may be a way to make a decent profit. Most of these things would most likely come from out of system. However, Keen is a large manufacturing planet, and some of the goods may come from here as well. However, because of the short distance, many merchants will be willing to take that route and will most likely cut potential profits from this route. As well as luxury goods, you can expect there to be a huge demand for ship parts. Because the demand for ship parts will be so high, you may be able to expect to make at least a marginal to a decent profit. There will, no doubt, be a lot of people doing this trade route, and it will be interesting to see how many traders it takes to supply this route. Osha is a large consumer of luxury goods. One could probably make a bit of money from importing out-of-system goods. As stated before, some luxury goods may come from Keen, but the money made from that route won't be quite as much. Along with the stated trade routes to Keen, you can expect that some raw and processed ores will have to be imported from out of system. You can expect to make a decent profit here, as the ores required may need to be delivered from a far-off system that aren't necessarily safe. Killian 8 and Corrin are essentially off-limits. Corrin will most likely need supplies. However, rather than traders deliver supplies, the Marines themselves will most likely buy and transport supplies from nearby worlds. On Killian 10, durable and disposable goods along with food and water will most likely need to be transported to the claim holders here. Around Killian 11, there are automated fuel stations. There will certainly be a demand for fuel to be shipped from Killian 11 to the bases and dry docks around MacArthur. One can expect to make a decent profit because of the demand, and Starfarer pilots will most likely make the most money as their ships are specifically designed to economically transport large fuel loads. As far as Killian 12 through 14, there isn't much economic value on any of those planets, as they are uninhabitable and have no valuable resources. Judging by the large police and military forces present, attempting to pirate here would be a death wish. There are plenty of lucrative trade routes to attack, however doing so would almost certainly be suicidal. However, there will be a place for smugglers here. As we stated before, there is large demand for black market goods on MacArthur. Couple this large demand with the fact that it would be incredibly dangerous to illegally deal in this system, expect to make record profits if you can successfully smuggle in this system. Because of the large police and military forces present in this system, mercenaries may find it hard to find work in this system. The only thing they may be hired for is to stop the occasional smuggler from making their run to MacArthur. Also, in such a safe and populated system, I wouldn't expect there to be much in the way of salvage either. If there is any, it will almost certainly be picked clean by the countless people who trade in or visit this system. Okay, that about wraps it up for the analysis. Question, comments, remarks, make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.